This week in the Premier League, when you have football at 3 but Phantom of the Opera rehearsals at 5, Liverpool fans unveil commemorative Peter Crouch bedsheets, Pep and Wagner swap facial hair to prove that they are in fact the same person, and bad news for Mourinho as his star striker forgets his football boots and has to borrow some old tennis shoes from the lost property bin. But first, clarity. Thanks, Ruben. Everything suddenly feels much more clear, especially when you put spaces in between each letter. Oh, hang on. Here's Anthony Martial.
My small is hot.
Oh, no, all confused again. This weekend we saw the mark of champions digging deep to get that victory despite playing poorly. Man City kept grinding until they got their reward. Man United was so bereft of ideas, Ashley Young started shooting at the corner flag. Here he is celebrating with it. And Arsenal put Ramsey in the penalty box knowing that eventually someone would push him over. He is so inherently pushable. Alexis Sanchez scored the penalty, then tried to run to Manchester. Unfortunately, he was caught and trapped, and his daring escape was thwarted. Oh, poor guy. Each of those defeated teams can count themselves winners, not in a points fashion, but in the moral sense. Those imaginary moral points, extremely handy when trying to avoid relegation in mid-May. But each team can console themselves with the fact that at least they aren't Everton, a fact Leighton Baines tragically remembers roughly once every 10 seconds. I'm not saying times are hard in the blue half of Merseyside, but their chairman's advertising The Exorcist as a bit of light relief. Everton's temporary boss is a rare example of the caretaker manager who actually could pass as a caretaker. I suppose it's hard being a team's adoptive boss. Every time you tell your players what to do, they stamp their feet and say, "Why should I? You're not my real manager."
Right, enough is enough.
What are you gonna do? Team up with your brother again? No, what this league needs is some new gaffers, some fresh blood, those that have proven themselves in Europe or the lower leagues. Young, hungry coaches that have new styles, philosophies, innovative techniques. Managers like... whatever. He'll do. And him. He'll get us out of trouble. Let's get him back. He's been out of a job for far too long. Gary Megson drew a game that should pave his way back into employment for another 5 years. What's Alan Kirbishley up to these days? Has anyone got Curbs' number? Back to you!